Hello, friends, and welcome back for part 24. Ghost of Tsushima with a therapist. I know this has been a long playthrough, and there's been a lot of intense stuff, and there's been some chill streams, and I'm glad that you've made it through all of it. Thank you for all the comments, and I particularly appreciate all the thoughtful comments that people have been sending. I'm but one man, I'm but one perspective. I realize that there are other perspectives on some of the stuff that I talk about in this, and I always welcome those in the comments. So thanks for being so respectful and kind, and I engage where I can. Leave a thumbs up, leave a comment, come hang out with us live sometime. If you financially support the stream, thank you for doing that. And let's see where this goes today.
I came to return something that was stolen.
I never thought I'd see this again.
One of your monks lost his life to protect it.
That man was no monk. He was a peasant we'd taken in. One morning I woke to find him gone, along with this statue and one of my robes.
Then he wasn't a martyr. He was a thief.
We are all subject to our choices. His ended in suffering.
I suppose this would be a good time for me to talk about the drawbacks of the human tendency to label things and people as X instead of seeing people as people that make X choices. So an example I had, so like we categorize people by label. So if we take this guy and how Jin and this monk just labeled him, right? We have peasant, and then we have thief. And those two labels bring with it a whole host of expectations that have been represented to us. So everybody on the island has some idea of what peasant means, and they make all sorts of presuppositions about a person as a result of that. And then when we say thief, that also comes with it a lot of expectations. The thief one in particular, although this applies for peasant as well, the thief one in particular is if you take a person's action and then make that a personality profile, you have really boxed a person in. An example on this would be, let's say that that person was 45 years old, and up until that point in that person's life, they had never once, ever stolen anything. Ever. And we could objectively say that that's true. That person never stole anything in their entire life. And then, in this particular context, this person took what he took. The robes, statue, etc. Now, to be very clear, I'm not condoning that decision at all. Taking all that stuff that wasn't his, wrong. However, when Jin says, so he's a thief, yes, we're talking about semantics here, but that is a particularly problematic thing given that Jin, again, is in a position of power and his word is going to be represented disproportionately to others. So if he calls this guy a thief, Now what you've done is taken a decision that a person made and made it who they are. And I don't know about you, but I don't love when people do that to me. And I'm sure you don't love it when people do it to you, yet we have a tendency to do it to others. Person says something that is maybe unsavory in the context of societal expectation, and maybe they were doing their best to try to describe something and didn't have the type of representation or verbiage to do it, and person goes, blankist. It's sort of similar to that, right? As soon as we get into these labels and generalizations of people as who they are, you have created disconnection in like a huge way. Now, there are some labels and identities that are certainly okay, and those are usually identities that people have ascribed to themselves. So if that guy that stole that stuff said, yes, I'm a thief, okay, that's what you want to be known as. This is more complicated than this little tidbit is going to allow it to be. But the TLDR of what I'm trying to say here is that as soon as somebody does something and you don't take into account context, and then you make a label and generalization of that being who that person is, you have created a path of disconnection. One where there is likely to be a polarity and opposition and discord rather than one of like understanding. Why would that person have taken those things? To seek to understand is not to condone. I'm going to reiterate that a lot here through the playthrough because I have a sense that sometimes people are missing that point when I'm talking about this stuff. Seeking to understand why that guy took that stuff doesn't condone his behavior. But it does give us insight that allows us to work differently going forward with certain situations. Why would a person steal a statue and a robe and perhaps go with stolen valor as a monk? Why would you do that? Well, if you're a peasant and you're seen as a peasant, which again comes with a whole slew of expectations that we've been talking about here, people might not take you so seriously. Steal some monk's robes, shave your head, grab a statue, go to an area where people wouldn't know whether you're a monk or not, people might take you more seriously. People might help you out. They might listen to you. So there's always, people do things for reasons. Some of those reasons are more dire than others. But when you understand the reasons why people do the things they do, particularly when you can put them into a context where maybe you see repeated behavior amongst groups of people that are very similar, you learn about them. You learn about their motivations and their desires, and it's very important to do that. As soon as you slap the label of thief and you're Jin, you essentially put another notch of dehumanization on them. Peasant, thief. Okay, now what does that mean for how people look at that person? As opposed to, this is Corey. Corey has made some not so great decisions in his life, but he's also made some good decisions. Here's the wholeness of who he is, right? Like that is, I think, the thing that we would love for everybody to do for us. So it's on us to do it for them. Wish we'd talk to more monks, because every time we've come across a monk, they've had some real good shit to say. Well, watch how often Jin, in particular, does this in the playthrough. I mean, everybody's doing it, but Jin has a tendency to really get in there with the labels. Man, it's dark. Would you say that Jin is ignorant when it comes to trying to understand others' motives and their behaviors? Well, ignorance is a tough word for me on that. I don't get a sense that Jin has been taught to do that. Jin has grown up in a context where labels are everything. And he probably has operated with those boxes that have been bestowed upon him. Like his family, like they said, these are peasants, these are samurai, these are straw hats, these are blank, this is that, which is true for all of us. But I think Jin could do a better job of engaging curiosity rather than judgment. Jin has the Jin tends to default to judgment. He filters things through a code. He filters things through a morality sphere that he's been lucky enough in his life to take time to actually refine and care about. And so he's often quick to say things like, you're a coward, you're a thief, you're this, you're that, rather than engaging his curiosity. Because Jin doesn't have to engage his curiosity if he doesn't want to, which is a really important thing to understand about like the hierarchical levels of the society that we're embedded in here and in real life. Is that Jin, being in a position of power and mobility and privilege and all these sorts of things and control, he kind of gets to decide whether he wants to be curious about things. He can either judge them or be curious, and it doesn't really have a significant impact on his well-being. People that are not at Jin's level societally don't have that luxury in the same way he does. In a lot of ways, those folks have to be curious about Jin. They have to be curious about the leadership because they need to understand it in order to survive the situation and to know how to operate within it, because there could be very harsh consequences if they do not. If they're not curious about the samurai code, it could get them killed. If you do things that are in violation of what Lord Shimura has dictated as part of the rules and morality complex of the island, you could be killed. So you have to be curious about it, insofar as you have to understand it and know what you're working with in order to be able to survive. Jin doesn't have to do that. So at any point in time, when we're met with these situations, Jin has to make a choice. And it's a choice that he, to be empathic toward him, likely hasn't had to make very often in his life. He could go with judgment, and that would be supported by the people around him. So we're seeing Jin operate in the world in the way that is akin to how he survived his particular context growing up. And what we've been seeing throughout the playthrough is that that misses the mark with the overwhelming majority of the island. Because the overwhelming majority of the island are not samurai, are not nobility, are not people with means. So he comes in here in his fancy garb like this, and, you know, people decide to give some food to the Mongols so that the Mongols don't destroy their brewery or whatever. And he says, you're a coward. You should fight back. That's quick to judgment. That's what we're talking about here. Instead of him being like, why would people do that? And just because Jin's nobility got wiped out on the beach, just because all the samurai were killed, doesn't mean that that leaves his mind. His internalization of the hierarchy of the island didn't float away with the souls of everybody on the beach. So we're seeing Jin be exposed to a level of diversity that, to his credit, is shaping him a bit. We've seen a couple moments where Jin does engage empathically in the way that he should. With Lady Masako would be a great example of that. Like, granted, she's not somebody he perceives as being like below him, but we are seeing it come through here. So this is it's a tricky thing for him to be going through, but to reiterate, I hold him to a higher standard because he has power and control that other people don't have the luxury of. So I know that, a lot of folks have been saying I'm incredibly harsh toward Jin in terms of being critical of him. I have empathy for why he's the way that he is, but because he occupies the position he occupies, he does have to be held to a higher standard. All right. Ooh, there's another. Oh, okay. So, what, we got 2 more? I kind of want to fight those guys and see what that armor looks like. If I'm being totally honest. So, we're going to ride our way over there.
The hunt's over! He's ours!
The hunt's over. He's on a horse, but we'll chase him by foot. Filling out Jin's closet? Absolutely. The drip's still important, even when the Mongols are invading. All men are created equal, and then they get dressed. Following the river. Alright, where is he? I probably say this every time we come up on one of these, but I desperately want one of these guys to just be sitting there swinging a chain. It would be the ultimate, to me it would be just like the ultimate Easter egg. Especially if it was this guy at the top of the waterfall. Oh man, it would be so good. These arenas are, oh god, these arenas are really badass.
Oh, Sakai. Thanks for coming.
Wow, this is, what a badass. Duel, falling, watch it. You've got an ass. I'll kick you.
I hope you understand. This is just a job.
That's fine. I hope you understand. This was just Just a job. Okay, well.
That's my road.
What do you got here? Is this a town that needs liberating? Yes, it is. What up, homie? Hello? Yeah, you like that? Come at you backwards. Haha, I saw you there, idiot. Hey guys. I love walking back. Whoa! Whoa, 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 buddy. The hell did that come from? Oh, you. What's up? I'm the shark of Tsushima. Damn, there's a lot of dudes here. That's right, run away. Next. Good. Here we go. Oh, hey there. Yeah. 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 Yeah, you idiot. Oh yeah? Yeah, climb your little tower. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. Oh, now you really messed up. Now you fuck. Now you fucked up. Now you fucked up. You have effed up now. String bean. You tubble-lard piece. Acty, stop the play. Stop the play. Acty. Who said that? Please, Mr. President, you are ruining the play. Oh, I went a little too early. All right. Oh, right through the freaking door. Ooh. Cured meats. Hey, what's up, man? Okay. How about this? Mongol artifacts, yeah. Greek vase. During the summer of 1242, the Mongol defeat of the Latin Empire caused a major power shift in the Aegean world. Or Aegean, I don't know. An invading force led by Kadan, son of the second great Khan Ogedai, swept southward after devastating Bulgaria and Serbia. Though repelled during an initial encounter in Thrace, subsequent relations between the Mongol Khans and the Latin Emperor Baldwin II suggest that he was at some point captured and forced to submit and pay tribute to the Mongol armies. This is likely how the vase wound up in Mongol hands. There we go. Whoa, buddy! Oh, shit. There you go. You get it, Smitey. Don't hit my butt. He's hitting my butt. Don't hit my butt. Whoa. Conversations with the Khan 8. Houghton senses a potential rift forming between the Ghost and Lord Shimura. While I expressed doubt, he assured me that the Empire has long experience with such proud warriors. He said to me, Daizo, there is nothing easier than to prey upon the vanity of ambitious men. People say my grandfather, Genghis Khan, conquered the world because his armies were stronger, faster, and more ruthless than those who opposed him. Nonsense. Ruthless men make war everywhere. Genghis knew how to befriend enemies and turn his enemies against one another. That is what Lord Shimura and his nephew do not grasp yet. But I will teach them. May canon grant mercy to anyone who opposes this man. That's right. Make your enemy destroy itself. This is the way. probably spend those technique points, huh? There we go. Thing of beauty. All right. Techniques. Dude, we are. I don't really understand how this works, so I'm going to try this just for... Oh. Okay. Oh, so this like, okay. All right, let's ride to this guy. Gotta be a bridge around here somewhere, right? Or I guess I could just swim across and call Nobu. There's a bridge over there, so we're gonna go cross it. I like the density of this forest. Man, part of the island is quite rainy. Lord Shimura's camp. Oh, wow. Okay. Looks like there's a thing to discover right here, so let's see what that might be. Armor looking clean. What's up, Claire? You know I gotta do my boy right. Trying to get some other armor though. Let's see what this armor is all about. Kubra bamboo strike. All right, that's what I'm talking about. Let's go. Oh no, no! I accidentally hit the button. Whoops. Damn it. I like to get these on the first try. No! Oh boy. Okay, this one's tricky. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Alright. Triangle X triangle. L1X, L1 triangle. There. Oh. This one's tough. There it is. Damn. Okay. Oh, it's not even the thing that I thought it was. That was definitely the trickiest one so far. Me just wandering aimlessly. Breaking my own ankles in the serene forest. What the hell? Oh, okay, here we go. Fox den. Where is the fox? Oh, there he is. Hey, buddy. You find it interesting that apparently on some parts of the island it's fall. Other parts of the island it's summer. God damn, this is a long ass shrine. How far are you taking me, brother? There we go. You've increased your charm power. Cool. Alright. Deal with that location later. Let's go fight. Let's go. Duel under autumn leaves. Oh. Damn. Random dead people. Just, I don't know what it is about that. It's quite unsettling. Oh, dude. Red forest. Look at that. Yeah.
What a noise.
What's up, idiots? Jin, how about you hit him? Oh, another cricket, probably.
Looking for me?
What's up, boys?
Yuga huli here. That's no.
Are you scared? All right, Nobu. Now that I've laid waste
You'll get through this.
the Mongols in the graveyard. Let's go.
Are you coward?
Yeah, big sword.
Horse!
Let's go. This duel. Gotta be down.
Let's go, Nobu.
Oh, look at that. It's like wintry up there. Okay, so farther north. Here we go. What's up, dude? How you doing?
Finally! I was getting tired of waiting for you.
Oh, poor you. Feel so bad for you.
This is madness. You're not a warrior, just a murdering dog.
That's the spirit. Come on, Sakai. I've been looking forward to
Oh my
this.
god, you're right. Never mind. Let's not duel. I can't believe somebody finally said it and it clicked for me. I do wish they would have diversified these cutscenes a little bit more. Jin does the same every time. It was cool the first, like, 3 times.
It'll be alive. If you had gotten here sooner!
I'm here now. You'll never kill again.
Woof.
I need to face the man who sent me. He's running after me. That musician in Umugi Cove may have an idea where Kojiro is.
Ooh. Ooh. Let's go back there then. Let's go find out. Where is Dr. Evil hiding? Where is Dr. Evil hiding? Where is Dr. Evil hiding?
Lord Sakai! Thank the gods!
The Straw Hats that Kojiro wanted me to duel are dead.
He already knew, my lord. I told you, he is no ordinary man.
You saw him again.
He came back, told me you earned death by his hand. He'll wait for you in a cave at Omi Monastery.
My own clan's territory. He'll regret that insult.
You mustn't face him. With that demon-blessed armor, he'll never tire in battle.
We'll see about that.
I'll pray for your victory.
Ho ho ho. Ho ho ho. Look, oh, look at that. Right there. Beautiful. Glad I liberated that area. Cave. Alright. He knows of a cave. A cave which no man has entered. What? Behind the rabbit? It is the rabbit. Who are you who are so wise in the ways of science? Some call me Tim? I saw something about that line was improvised. Oh, look at that big ass statue. God damn. Uh-oh. Look at the bones! Ash, sharp, pointy teeth. I don't know. I don't know that the samurai would be like itching to fight the ghost, given that the ghost is one of them. I don't have a sense that the samurai, I mean, I don't think they explicitly anyway would say that ego is important, that they stick together, they're a troop, etc. Like I can't imagine that if the samurai were still around, they're thinking like, oh, I gotta go kill the ghost. Like I think there's a reason that these are straw hats we're fighting, not samurai. With Kojiro, here we go, baby. What's up? Ooh, did you lay rose petals out for me too? Goddamn.
Lord Sakai, at last.
You'd like... I mean, we don't have to do this. We could, you know, like make out a little bit or something if that's more what you're into.
The musician told me your armor was blessed by demons, Kojiro.
Do you believe him?
I think you should have stayed a legend.
Do you believe him? Duel in the mirror of sacred light. Floating candles. It's so dark in here. How is anybody supposed to see anything? No shit. All right. Oh. Oh shit. All right, this guy's good.
I've killed 1,000 men. Every
Cool.
death was sweet.
The musician was right. You are a demon.
So have you, Jin. You've killed a lot of people too. Oh shit, this guy might actually beat me. Oh my god. Jin, block, please. Damn it. Delay. Oh my god, dude. His delays are insane. He's gonna kill me. Yep. Oh, I finally
I haven't enjoyed
died.
killing this much in years.
Oh, I don't even have a thing. Oh, man. All right, try it again. Ugh. There we go.
I've killed 1,000 men. Every death was sweet.
The musician was right. You are a demon.
Are you the one who finally killed me?
Is that what you
No.
want?
You were the one that finally killed me. For the record, he bested me. I actually do kind of wish that I would have to just live with the consequence of that. Be like, nope, you don't get the armor now because he beat you. Kensei armor belonged to a straw hat, infamous for his cunning and deception. Oh, buddy. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That in white. I think probably takes the cake. Even though it's like really designed for you to use the ghost weapons, which I never use. That looks really badass. Oh, I get why they do it, Kiara. It doesn't mean I agree with it. It would lead to way more stakes, which I would appreciate. Why don't you go stand out in the sun? There you go. All right, so let's go. It'd be nice and expensive here. Hope you brought your supply. Actually, I should go probably check out the altar. as I expect gifts. What do you got? What do you got for me?
I think the Mongols are afraid of our hot springs, Lord Sakai. They avoid them.
Perhaps they don't like the smell of sulfur. Or they're afraid taking a bath will make them sick.
Let's hope they stay afraid, my lord. If any warrior is going to gain strength from Tsushima's hot springs, it should be you.
I can't argue with that.
Yeah. Yeah. Sakai katana upgrade available. Oh shit. Oh man, that's almost more important to me than this. I'm not even gonna be able to. Oh, and it's got the hat. Oh baby. Oh baby.
Thank you.
All right, so that's cool and all, but I am gonna upgrade my katana. Upgrade.
Honored to work on your blade, my lord.
Oh my guy, let's go. 1,000 supplies, iron, steel, and gold. I got it.
Polished like a mirror.
Beauty.
Apologies. You don't have what we need to do the work.
Yes,
Your blade will
that's more important. Now. I didn't realize that that was the original helmet. Not a fan of that. I gotta say though, the traveler's attire is hard to beat. Like, that just looks so good. You just, come on. Oh. Gotta do IRL business things sometimes when I stream during the day. Boy, I gotta get some supplies, huh? Okay. Let's go. Hey, thanks for being here. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me.
They make a good team.
Man, it's so dark. Can't see shit.
Have you seen the foxes, my lord? I was meditating when a young one sat down before me.
Foxes are wise. They must have sensed your kindness.
When I spoke to her, she stood and waited for me to follow. The fox, she led me to a shrine. I gave thanks to Inari for the beautiful experience.
The kami brings us light in even the darkest times.
Yeah.
Let's
Sure.
go.
I do like that Jin engaged that as if this was like not new information to him, but he like let her speak her piece. Like there are so many people who in that engagement would actually take a path that's not really akin to any kind of connection, where she'd be like, "Have you heard of the foxes, my lord?" And he's like, "Yeah, all the time. Like, of course I have." Idiot. You know, like, don't be that person. Like, oh, like, you know, what about them? Or, yeah, I've come across some of them, but why do you ask? Like, be curious there.
One of Tomoe's training camps is around here.
Can go a long way. The amount of times I see people shut conversations down inadvertently because they just have the, like, a duh approach. Disheartening. Alright, Tomoe's training camp. I need to learn whatever song lets me make it daytime.
Ah! The ghost! Don't kill me!
What's going on?
Take whatever you want.
Okay. I don't know the answer to this. I'm sure we're going to find out. But why would people be afraid of the ghost? Likely because they've been told to be afraid of the ghost. If Tomoe is actively running away and has any kind of influence over people, or if the Khan has made it very clear that if the ghost shows up and helps you, you'll be dead, or whatever. There's all sorts of reasons how, like, people could have been propagandized against me. Jin just can't take it personally. He's gonna be like, yo, what'd you learn about me? But he also does have to recognize there may be people that don't want to work with him or talk to him because of they're afraid for their safety, and that's, he would do well to respect that.
I'm not a thief.
Everyone knows you're attacking caravans. The ghost and the demon sensei.
Sensei Ishikawa? That's a lie.
I've heard you myself.
Heard us? When?
Not
By the
long
power
ago,
of AI.
tearing up the road like starving wolves.
Yeah, that could be it, me. Ghost and the Demon Sensei. Juicy.
How are Sensei Ishikawa and I being blamed for highway robbery? Head north. Find out who's responsible.
Well, it's not entirely unrealistic as I pick up supplies from the camp. Almost assuredly, Tomoe is trying to pin people against us. It's not thievery if I'm entitled to it. Careful with the spoilers. We don't know that. We haven't met her yet. Highway robbery does sound like some of these Mongol random encounters, indeed.
Who will face me first?
Oh, that's it? It's just one dude? I have a katana and I need supplies now. Called Sensei Shimura. I've slain thousands, I'll slay you too. One wrong look at me, my katana's into you. Ba 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 ba.
Sounds like trouble.
Oh, I don't know, Claire. That last one was pretty rough.
Pow, 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 pow.
Jin Sakai!
Sensei!
Whoa, buddy. Oh, yeah, one hit kills now with my lightning sword. Ah, oh, God, this is my nightmare.
About time you showed up.
You're welcome, Sensei.
You're the only hope for our world. I'll do my best. Andros won't have his way with me. That's me.
What happened here?
His caravan was ambushed.
Lots of attacks lately. People say you're stealing supplies. Or sided with the Mongols.
Rest easy. I'll discuss this with Lord Sakai.
Tomoe is behind this.
She sows paranoia and fear. Attacking caravans, blaming us. I caught up to his group too late. Saved him, but not the others.
Where was he ambushed?
Close. Why?
Find the ambush site. Track the rest of Tomoe's group to their camp.
That makes sense.
What's wrong?
Nothing. She has me off balance.
We'll put an end to that.
Rest here. Eat the food I gave you, and wait a while before you leave.
Thank you, Sensei.
Show me where he was ambushed.
So there's something very interesting embedded within that conversation there. And there's multiple layers to this. All right, so I'm going to try not to play to an oversimplification, but the people were told that Jin and Ishikawa are behind the attacks for resources, and that there's maybe a chance that they're working for the Mongols. What's the part that stands out to me in that? The people believe it. They see it as plausible. Whether they even say that, like, yes, it's true. They believe that it's plausible. And that should tell you everything you need to know about how not ironclad the reputation of the samurai is on the island. That the people, the constituents, who the samurai have pledged themselves to take care of at all costs, believe in the possibility that Jin and Ishikawa would raid resources on the roads for the people of the island. Now, this is not a criticism of Jin and Ishikawa. What this is, though, is a very real reflection of the fact that the people in this specific space, maybe, don't fully and unconditionally trust that the samurai have their best interest at heart. Because if they saw the samurai in the way that the samurai seem to see themselves and want to be seen, they wouldn't even remotely entertain the idea. Now, I realize, and this is the other part of this, that if they trust Tomoe, and she says, with my own eyes and ears, I bear witness to this, and she leverages all her trust in order to sow seeds of discord amongst the people of the town. Yes, they may take her word for it, and they'd have to fight through some dissonance. But the samurai seem to believe that their reputation is ironclad. That, like, there's no way people would ever believe that they would do something like this, because they would only believe that the samurai have their best interest at heart. So this is a real moment for Jin and Ishikawa to understand that people see you turning and working for the Mongols as a possibility, which means that you got some work to do to show them that you are somebody who can be trusted and that you put your money where your mouth is. Really fascinating. And the hard part is when you're the people of the island and you're in crisis, you wouldn't know what to believe. Like, this is kind of the power of how localized leadership becomes really important in times of crisis, because if things are getting represented in a particular way to you locally amidst the broader context going in another direction, you're gonna believe what you need to believe in order to ensure your survival. So if you have that doubt instilled in you, and then you see the ghost of Ishikawa show up in your town, and you've heard what you've heard, yeah, you probably do freak out a little bit. Even if in the back of your mind you don't think it's real.
Someone heard a convoy being chased.
People avoid the roads because of Tomoe. When I caught wind of a merchant chancing a supply run, I followed.
We're here to find and destroy Tomoe's training camp, but the safety of the island is our priority.
I don't see how those conflict. I was trying to save that convoy.
You could have easily caught up to them. You used them as bait.
So what if I did?
That's a dangerous path to travel, Sensei.
Tomoe betrayed everything I taught her. Then she betrayed me. And after me, her home. I'll hunt her past the horizon if I must.
This game drives me nuts. And this is so hard, because, like, you could write a dissertation on the point that I'm going to make, and it would be 300 pages long, and you still wouldn't even scratch the surface. Okay, how do I go about talking about this? All right. This is, if you haven't, had it smacked across your face hard enough yet over the last 23 episodes, now 24. This is a really common thread in the important people's quest lines that we have been following, namely Masako and Ishikawa, and I'd argue Jin to an extent. And this is impossible to talk about if you don't include, like, societal context and hierarchy and privilege and all sorts of stuff like that. So, again, as you hear me say the word privilege, don't run away. I know it's a hot button word right now, but there's reason for why this is coming up. And I'm going to do my best to explain it in not an hour. Ishikawa more so than Masako, to be clear. Ishikawa is I'm going to focus on him, but Masako to an extent and Jin fall into this. Uses the samurai code in ways that are convenient. They engage with it at times where it benefits them, and they push against it at times that it benefits them. Not wholly unsimilar to how people over the course of time have used religious texts to essentially engage in a level of confirmation bias. You cherry pick whatever it is that works for whatever sentiment you want to express at a given point in time. So, on one hand, you have Ishikawa, a samurai, who pledges to protect the people of the island. The idea of the samurai is we protect and serve, and that is of utmost importance. It is the thing that we hold in the highest regard, yet in practice, it's not. These people who claim to engage with all of this from a more objective, rational point of view that is more informed and observed sure do operate on emotion, despite theoretically being taught not to engage with their emotion. And I've gone into significant detail about why this happens, that the emotion's there whether you want it to be or not, and that this is why you don't bury it, this is why you acknowledge it, etc., etc. Okay? So in this moment, Ishikawa uses a caravan to bait Tomoe out and says, so what if I did? Because he's making this about him. The farther up the ladder in the hierarchy you go, well, there's sort of like a bell curve. There's the, I'm going to back up here. There's a bell curve in terms of, like, let's call it selfishness. On the tail end, the left tail end of the bell curve, you have people who are utterly destitute, that are poor, they have absolutely no resources, and they're the lowest of the low on the social hierarchy of the island. Those folks are going to be what we would conventionally call selfish because they have to be. Because looking out for your needs and survival is paramount. It's number one. You can't get away from it. So you're going to see people make decisions that are absolutely in self-interest, devoid of any care of the rule of law or anything like that, because they're trying to survive. So that's what you're going to see, that in that space where people are going to make it about them. They're going to say, I don't care about your rules. I don't care about your boundaries. I don't care about your arbitrary bullshit. The thing that I care about is that I can afford food and that I have worked and that, like, my people are taken care of and that I'm taken care of. That's what I care about. I don't give a shit about import and export. I don't care about foreign policy. I don't care about any of that shit. I care about me. Because if I don't care about me, I'm going to die because this island doesn't really take care of me very well. I think I've made my point. Those are people that are on one end of the bell curve. Okay. And then you have the majority of the population that sits at this part of the bell curve, where they're people who have their primary needs met, but you have people on this side who maybe are struggling a bit, but still have the luxury of being able to take care of certain things. These are people who say, like, you know, in my gaming PC, I had to put a 4060 in it instead of a 4090 because I don't make that much money, or I had to buy a PC secondhand, and, you know, my 1080 is still going strong all these years later, and it's good enough for me to play games at 45 frames per second and I'll live. And those are the things that I care about. But I've got food on the table. I'm saving up for a vacation that I might take at the end of the year, etc. All the way to the other side of the bell curve, where you have people who are like, yeah, I care very deeply about issues of identity and taking care of you and social safety nets because my needs are met, and I volunteer at local places, and I can engage in the leisure activities I want to engage in, right? Those people, they have the luxury, but they still have to care about others, because you're maybe one step away from it all falling apart. Then you get to the other end of the bell curve, where it all comes full circle, and you have people who are in the highest of the high in terms of resources. They don't have to think or want for anything because everything is taken care of. Your needs are met. You've got resources, and shrines, and towns, and blah. Everything a person could ever ask for. So what becomes important to you? Your honor, your legacy, who you are, how you're seen, my reputation. These are all things that people don't really care much about when they're struggling on the other side of the bell curve. But what that means is that you essentially come back to selfishness. That, like, I am going to prioritize gaining more for myself and my legacy. And sure, you may couch that in, I want to make sure that my family for generations is taken care of, but ultimately I want to make sure they know it was me, right? And again, I'm making some generalizations. Not everybody is like this, but on the whole, this is how you get to the two tail ends of the bell curve where people are selfish rather than thinking about taking care of each other. And coincidentally, that's often why people on this side of the bell curve in some ways identify with people over here, because there's process-wise there are some similarities if you take the resources out of it. But regardless, well, the point that I'm trying to make here is that Ishikawa has the ability and the resources and the time to care about the fact that Tomui betrayed him, made him look bad as a sensei, tarnished his reputation and his legacy and his standing amongst the samurai. And so what does he do? He throws his own people that he's supposed to protect under the bus and puts them in danger for his own selfish desire to destroy Tomui. It's not very think about people on the island. So you can understand why people might look at Ishikawa and perhaps even believe that he's raiding these convoys and stuff, because in some ways he is, and he's not assisting with them, and he's aiding in this because he's got some personal beef with somebody that they likely don't care about at all. Maybe even is getting some of their needs met. So we see with like Masako and Ishikawa and Jin that these personal vendettas are things that they have the ability to go fight for, that they will put themselves above the good of the island because they can. And that drives me nuts. I would hope that it drives you nuts to hear him say, yeah, I put these people. Or would you want to be in that convoy where you're expecting some level of protection, that you want to go about your day, and then a person who's in a position of power to ensure that you're safe decides to use you as bait against your will in order to fight some personal vendetta? No, I don't want to be involved in that any more than anybody else would. Or at the very least, ask me. Hey man, you consent to, like, we'll make sure you're taken care of, but like we're trying to catch this person. And this would be very helpful in doing so. Sure, yeah, I'll sign up for that. So when push comes to shove, we've seen this with Ishikawa, we've seen this with Shimura, we've seen this to an extent with Jin, we've seen this to an extent with Masako. I don't hold Masako to entirely the same account because she's not like a samurai and she doesn't have the same level of power, but she's close. That when push comes to shove, they choose themselves. They choose their vendetta. They choose their reputation, their betrayal, their legacy, their honor code, instead of what's good for the island. Shimura is in a cell with the Khan looking directly at him. And instead of even entertaining an idea, a thought, or a conversation about, okay, dude, you're here. You're occupying the island. You're way stronger than we are. I don't want you to take over my island, but this seems to be like some sort of inevitability. And is there a way that we can work together to ensure that the people who expect me to take care of them are taken care of? Like, what do you got? He at the very least could have taken a shot at that conversation. He would have lost nothing in having a shot at that conversation, except the only thing he loses is a sense of his own honor and label because he's somehow submitting to the will of the Khan, even if it might be for the good of the island. Shimura will not sacrifice whatever he believes he is relative to his honor code for the good of the island, and instead goes, no deal. I'm not playing ball. And so the Khan's like, all right, cool. Watch your people die then. If you're going to hold your honor above everybody else. That's the shit that drives me insane. Is that these people have opportunities to do what they say they're going to do, and they don't do it. And it's another example, like when I was standing on that rock watching Lady Masako fight all the people on the beach, where I could say to Ishikawa, you know what? Figure this shit out on your own then, man. I'm not helping you with this. Like, this isn't what we're about. Nobody wants to hold anybody accountable. Jin won't hold these people accountable. He won't hold Shimura accountable because this is his uncle and he's got power. He won't hold Ishikawa accountable because he's an elder and he's been doing this longer. Like, at some point, you can't just keep subscribing to the idea that, like, well, you know, respect your elders. Respect your elders, at least where I'm sitting, has gotten my generation in a lot of problems in real life. Like, at some point, you got to push back and say, yo, this isn't it. This isn't what you taught me. You taught me that we take care of the island. Let's freaking take care of the island, bro. Oh, I'm just, oh. So yeah, I get fired up about this stuff. Yes, I hold the samurai to a higher account on these things because they have the luxury of time, resource, and ability to decide whether to pursue selfish intent versus take care of the island. And it's their duty and responsibility, self-proclaimed, to take care of the island. A person who is sitting and hasn't eaten in 4 days and they don't know where their food's coming from on a southern part of the island outside of a hut in the rain, yeah, they do something selfish. It's absolutely their choice. And also, it's a little easier to stomach when it's for survival. This isn't for survival. This is for the survival of Ishikawa's reputation, not his physical body. And what I hate, too, is that they have the nerve to apply that logic to the people of the island, where they would say things like, you know, oh, you helped out the Mongols, you coward? Are you kidding me? Holy shit, man. I can go on about this forever, okay? But it is an absolute position of privilege that they are using for their own selfish agenda to pursue these things in the way that they are and throw people of the island under the bus as pawns in their reputation management. Oh, man. And this happens in real life. It's happening right now, the end of 2024, going into 2025 as I'm filming this. Oh. I mean, he even said, right, I'll go to the ends of the earth. I will do whatever I have to do in order to attend it. This is the most important thing in the whole world. Islands being occupied by Mongols, but this is it.
Victims of Tomoe.
Quickly, Nobu.
Let's see what we can learn.
And I'm not excusing Tomoe's behavior. If Tomoe is killing people of the island, I don't think that's a good thing. I'm not giving her a free pass. But we keep making things worse.
It's a warning to the people of Kushi.
From Tomoe.
From Lord Sakai and Sensei Ishikawa. No travel is permitted on these roads, on pain of death.
Crude, but effective.
Very effective. She is under the thumb of the Khan, so, you know.
No other survivors.
Japanese and Mongol arrows.
Of course.
But you've got to remember, being a turncoat and going for the Mongols is not just something that the poor folks are going to do. I'm not giving a pass to Tomoe's behavior, but I would want to understand why she joined them. Was she in a position where she was in trouble and her survival was at stake? Maybe because she's got Ishikawa after her, I don't know. But like where she joins the Mongols and she's like, all right, I can survive now. I have a position of importance. Maybe she's recognized by the Mongols in a way that she wasn't by Ishikawa. Ishikawa talks a big game about how amazing she was. He's a protege, blah, 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 blah. And I'd be curious if he ever said that to her. I'm not excusing her behavior, but we need to seek to understand it in order for us to have any kind of meaningful interaction with it.
They took off down the road.
And we'll find them. This is the last time Tomoe and her men will ambush anyone in Kushi Prefecture. Come.
again, I can't get over the fact that, like, she's putting these notices out there and people believe it's possible.
Hurry! Dismount here. Quickly. There's no time to scout the camp.
Now who's rushing in with his hakama half-tied?
Never mind. It's what I want, so it's fine. Exceptions for me, not for thee.
Why is she here alone?
I'll cut her loose.
Over here!
Does Tomoe know that Ishikawa is going to act emotionally because his reputation's at stake and thus has set this up such that we're going to be trapped because we couldn't possibly believe we're going to be trapped, but if we run in without thinking about it because we're emotional beings that have never been taught how to actually manage it effectively, I swear to God, if we get ambushed here...
You're going to be all right.
Oh, no. No, please. No.
We're here to help.
She said...
Tomoe, what did she say?
She said I could live until the samurai came.
No! On the ledge!
Oh my God, I'm gonna get felled by arrows because these assholes all up here. Oh, Ishikawa, you messed me up, bro. Where is that? You can't, like, strafe these guys. There we go. God damn it, dude.
Sakai.
Tomoe set a trap for us, and we walked right into it.
I spoke with her 2 days ago.
Tomoe?
The captive. Heard her talking about a Japanese woman she saw with the Mongols. I asked her to find out where they were camped and report back.
You did what?
It could have gone the other way.
It didn't.
We'd be standing over Tomoe's body instead.
You talk about what it means to be a warrior, how Tomoe undermines that. But you and she are the same.
You expect us to be perfect.
Oh, no, 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 no. You don't get to do that. You don't get to do that. I'm not perfect. That's, dude. Hindsight justification is a very frustrating thing. It at times can legitimately seem impenetrable. It's all a cascade of self-preservation. It's a refusal to acknowledge and take accountability. So instead of Ishikawa saying, yeah, dude, that was a bad idea. Holy shit, this woman is dead here in this camp because I made an impulsive and emotional decision that was totally out of line. I sent this random person who believes that I have her best interest at heart, who trusted me, into the fray, and she got killed. I messed up. I am out of control here. Like, I am super emotional. And it's clouded my decision making, and that's a real problem. Instead of that, he engages cognitive self-preservation. Well, not everybody's perfect, Jin. Okay? People make mistakes, bro. I mean, like, what would have happened if that was Tomoe? Like, what if it would have worked, dude? I mean, it was like a super great plan until it wasn't, bro. Ishikawa's not an idiot. He's intelligent. He is skilled in a way that many people are not. So it makes it all the more frustrating for me when this type of thing happens. I mean, Jin's feeling it. Jin is trying to call him out on the hypocrisy here. But he so badly wants to get Tomoe that he will do anything, including selectively violate his code, to get her. And he puts people in danger and at risk as a result. And it's just so frustrating to watch. It's so frustrating to watch. And the psychological piece of this that I want to hammer home in terms of like the educational component of this is that hindsight justification wormhole is, if you are constantly using justification to ignore accountability for your impact, you really ought to knock it off. It's okay to take accountability. I think, to me, that's the core issue with the samurai holding that role and reputation as the most paramount thing. And I would argue this bleeds out into a lot of areas of real life and the time and whatever, is that if you stake your claim of your identity on reputation and prestige, accountability is something that that simpletons believe is antithetical to that. Reality is, people who take accountability, I think, have more gravitas and cachet than people who don't. But their self-preservation around this, this is getting people killed. That's why this sucks. This leads to bad policy. This leads to bad decisions. This leads to strays that people are going to start catching en masse. Tomoe, like the Khan, is 30 steps ahead of these guys because these guys refuse to acknowledge what they're actually working with. Tomoe knew. She knew that his emotional, impulsive ass was going to walk up into that camp. And she set it up perfectly. It is the most predictable shit ever. Now, I realize that Tomoe is not a saint either. She baited that woman. Like, Tomoe sucks too. Okay, she baited that woman. She's dead because Tomoe also has some sort of beef with Ishikawa. Like, we're fighting out interpersonal bullshit, and the island is suffering as a result of it.
Your uncle, me, Masako Adachi. But only a child expects perfection of his elders.
That's such bullshit, dude.
Finish your thought, Sensei.
Yeah, finish that.
We all carry weapons. We all choose between life and death.
And you're too comfortable with that power.
And if I weren't, I would be dead. And so would you, Ghost.
Not everyone can be a samurai.
But we're all killers.
Indeed. But the idea is that you kill in a way that is of benefit to the people of the island. If you're gonna do it in the name of the people. Oh man, it's such bullshit the way they cherry pick that stuff. Ugh. Drives me bonkers. Bonkers. I mean, look at that. He even goes so far, he does the "what about you?" I'm not perfect. Neither are you. Neither's your uncle. None of us are perfect. So get off my back because you're just as bad as I am. It's like, okay, but we're not talking, like, we're talking about this moment. If you're going to sit, this is why I say it's impenetrable. It's like, if you just walk that wormhole back, you have no chance. If you're Jin, he has a retort for every single piece of it. The reality is that until Ishikawa wants to take accountability for his actions, Jin, who at the very least is considering the accountability for his actions, is a step above. Until Ishikawa is willing to actually explore the impact of his decisions, that is a fruitless endeavor. Absolutely fruitless. It's scary. Normally, I wouldn't care that much. Ishikawa has power. That means something. Seems like the samurai haven't matured. Well, because just to an extent, they haven't. Because they're not a particularly progressive group of people. The samurai hang their hat on code and tradition and symbols and blah de blah. There's not a lot of progressive thought that exists in the samurai. There's a rigid adherence to tradition and how things have always been and what we're supposed to be, and et cetera, et cetera. Island's changing and the samurai aren't. And I know it sounds like I'm basically saying the samurai have no value. That's not what I'm saying. Like, the samurai could have more value if they actually understood the constituents that they claim to be working for. That is my major sticking point with this. Is that they don't seem to make a ton of effort to truly understand what they're working with and the context that they're embedded in. In part because they sit here taking on all these, like, individual endeavors. At what point does the death derived from the samurai beef become as dangerous as the Mongol invasion? Well, I think when citizens are dying en masse because of it or aren't protected. Like, there's a real threat here on the island in the form of the Mongols, and we're sitting here dealing with petty bullshit instead of figuring out a way to, like, come together. And look, man, I know what it sounds like when I say work with the Khan. I know what it sounds like. And it's really easy for people to just, like, write this off and be like, no, man, Koden Khan is a deranged, sociopathic monster, and he's going to do whatever it takes in order to conquer the island. And so, no way, man. Don't even attempt to engage in diplomacy with him. And I think that's incredibly short-sighted. And the point that I actually made this point in a comment recently, but I'll share it here, is that there are so many examples in the real world of countries that could absolutely engage in a shitload of beef and kill each other and attempt to occupy one another who don't. The United States, at any given point in time, it could invade Canada and Mexico and occupy them in the way that the Mongols are attempting to occupy this island. But we don't. There are other countries across the world where they could steal each other's resources and screw each other over and do all this stuff, and they don't. Why? Because people in positions of leadership work really freaking hard to figure out how to work together and ensure that that doesn't happen. There are certainly bad actors and people who don't want to play ball in a particular type of way. I acknowledge that. But the reason I make that point is because the potential is there. As a therapist, my general orientation to relationships and people is that you can find allyship with just about anybody if you actually understand their needs. If you actually know why they're doing the things that they're doing, the chance that you're going to run into a sociopath are incredibly slim along the way. Or run into somebody whose legitimate means of doing, like, if the Khan's actual purpose for doing this is, I just want to watch the world burn, and I'm just trying to be the biggest dick that history has ever seen in ever, that will come out very obviously and clearly in your attempts to have certain discussions with him, in which case you work to deal with that in whatever ways that you can. But this is why it's so important for us to try to figure out what the Khan's angle is, to take the time to engage with him. Shimura had the chance, albeit in a jail cell, I realize that, but he had the chance. And we continue to not take the time to figure that out. Doing that would be for the good of the island. I don't know what it would mean. I don't know if it means, all right, Mongols, if you're here, let's figure out where you guys can stay. Perhaps you can contribute to the island workforce, and perhaps we have maybe a booming economy on the island because we're willing to work together on this. Or maybe it means, you know what, let's set up some trade lanes and whatever. And if you leave the island, yeah, man, we'll work with you to. You guys need bamboo. We got shitloads of bamboo. We're happy to export bamboo. Oh, Mongolia, you have this? Hey, help us out. Let's work together. Like, I realize I'm oversimplifying something that's very complicated, but at the end of the day, if you shut down the idea that diplomacy is potentially available, we're seeing here that it's getting people killed. If it doesn't work and the Khan is a deranged sociopathic asshole, then we're right back where we started and we do what we're doing right now. But Shimura hasn't even made the attempt because of his own sense of honor and pride. So, you know, we're seeing a whole split amongst the ranks in the island. Like, people are not doing particularly well. There's not really a sense of unification around here. There's people turning tail at any point in time, and I blame leadership for that. The island is not the utopia that all the nobles seem to want to believe that it is. Man.
And Ran is the one who saw their camp?
That's right, Sensei.
Sakai.
Okay. The people of the island are willing to help. And that means that we have to be very careful in how we use that help. And I hope that the people who are helping Sensei Ishikawa right here are not inevitably going to be targeted and in trouble because of the fact that they're helping us and because Ishikawa is accepting their help. And we'll find out in episode 25. Before I go, I know that sometimes, like, my tone when I talk about these things can sound sort of like preachy or whatever, but I'm passionate about this stuff. I care a great deal about it. I'm just one guy. I'm one perspective. I do not claim to be the arbiter of objective truth on this stuff. I just call stuff as I see it. And, you know, I choose to believe that there are options out there, that there are things that people can make decisions to do that can be in the betterment of themselves and the people around them, and that when we get stuck in our lanes of, nope, this is it, it causes all sorts of problems. The rigidity of that is an issue. So, man, oh man. Thanks for making it through this playthrough with me. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Leave a thumbs up and a comment to let me know whether you did or not. I welcome, you know, conversations in the comments as well. I read all of them. I don't respond to all of them, but I do read all of them. So come hang out with us live sometime too. Check out the links down in the description. If you're binging, See you right here in the next episode. If you're waiting for the next one to come out, I will get it out to you as soon as I can. Appreciate you. You matter. See you in the next one.